Hello and welcome back to the Monsters of Monster Hunter Double Cross, where today we're taking on Hellblade Glavenus. And where I'm still sick and will continue to be sick until I say otherwise, so I'm going to stop mentioning it, but please do forgive me for any sniffles, throat clearing, and different sounding that I do. Because there'll probably be some of that. It's unavoidable. Unavoidable when I'm sick. And I am recording while sick because I don't want to get off schedule. Okay, so we can get insurance with Hurler. Oh, and this is one of those few deviants where I don't have to say, oh, if you're seeing this, spoiler alert, I get to see the deviant that we're actually focusing on because it's going to be there from the start. Question is, will its regular Glavenus friend also be there from the start? If it is, that'll be problematic. But I don't think it will be. So we should get some time alone with Hellblade. Not that time alone with Hellblade is the most pleasant in the world, but it is kind of our goal here. And for the record, I do currently have immunity to Blast Blight because I do not at all like getting blasted when I'm aerial style because it takes longer to roll off blast than when you're using other styles. Of course, even if I was using another style, I'd probably still go for immunity to Blast Blight because that way I don't have to spend half the quest rolling. Because Hellblade throws out a lot of blast when it is in G rank. Okay, I've actually already got my items all set up. Yes. So let's go. Let's go ahead and use one of these now, just in case we manage to get through this without carting or farcastering back. I doubt that'll happen. There is a possibility we'll get through it, but that possibility will decrease as soon as the regular Glavenus shows up. Roll through the roar. That always feels nice. So, Hellblade. It's like a regular Glavenus, but its tail starts off hot and then goes blasty. Its throat starts off charged, but then goes blasty. You can't get them to be dull or non-hot or whatever. You can just make them not blasty. And doing so actually causes the Glavenus to fall over and give you a sparkly, which is nice. You really got to look out for the tail when it's blasty, though, because it adds quite a significant area effect to its stuff and increases its range a good deal. And other than the stuff I just noticed about the blast, or not noticed, noted about the blast, the differences in looks are like Hellblade's got a bigger horn than regular Glavenus, and that's like basically it. I guess it also always looks like it's enraged, what with the whole red glow on the spikes and the legs. Though you'll note it doesn't have the smoke billowing from it like a regular enraged Glavenus would. At least not to the same degree. And of course, when the tail and throat are blasty, they look different than usual, but that's to be expected. And through my doing one little stab right there at the start of this ride, I almost lost it. And it looks like the tail got de-blastified on its own. That's actually good for us. Though that was less good, having the tail pull me over itself like that. Much would have preferred actually getting to do my unleash on it instead of hitting it like once during that knockdown. Ow. And this is another thing about Hellblade, is it can catch its tail again and come back the other way when it does that move. It won't always do it, but it can do it, so it's something you need to be aware of. I'm going to go ahead and use this dash juice, because I've been running out of stamina, which rolling Fire Blight off can do for you. It's not like I'm going to not roll Fire Blight off. I don't like Fire Blight. It's not something that I enjoy having. Kind of interesting he hasn't blasted his throat pouch yet. Ow. Oh, he's angry now. Usually pretty quickly after they enrage, they'll get their throat all blasty, but this one hasn't shown a desire to do that. Oh hey, he's poisoned. There's the tail break. And it looks like it has gotten de-blastified, which is good. I definitely prefer when the tail is not blasted. Thankfully, since this guy's tail is always hot, if not blasted, it's always soft, meaning it's always a good hit zone to target. Though, severing the tail is another thing entirely. Like, it seems to take a lot more to get rid of Hellblade's tail than regular Glavenus's, which makes sense, because if it didn't, then you'd be able to get rid of his strongest asset pretty easily. Also, it looks like his throat is blasty now. So, we ought to see if we can't, ow, make that stop, because big explosions are unpleasant, as are having him do little blast powder clouds on his bites and his tail sweeps. Because those little clouds, even though I'm immune to Blast Blight, they can still flinch me, and that flinch could be the difference between surviving or dying when he tries his combos. Ooh, we managed to roll just far enough there. That time, on the other hand, we didn't roll and instead jumped, which was not the ideal thing to have happen. Let's get our cats back. Ow. Well, at least I took the hit for the cats. There's my life pattern. Of course it would be right next to the Dust of Life. That's how it works. Why have I used 2 of my own Mega Potions instead of these First Aid Med Pluses? That's just poor planning, especially because the First Aid Med Pluses, if I can use 3 of them, or rather 2 of them, then I can pick up another set of 3 if I end up carting or otherwise going back to the base camp. And I'd like to be able to pick up those spares. Renewable resources are better than ones that go away and stay gone. In literally all respects, unless what you're trying to do is get rid of stuff that's taking up space. And that time I anticipated that the tail would send me the other way, because usually if the tail isn't like all the way towards you when you jump off it, you'll end up on the other side of it unless you specifically control your jump so that that doesn't happen. Problem is, when I end up on the other side of it, I will never manage to hit with the explosion from my burst, because he stands up the other way. So basically I lose the strongest hit of the combo, so it's a shame when it does happen, but it's better than hitting nothing. I think Hellblade's tail might also be like an HP-based cut. It's possible. And there's our regular Glavenus. Thank goodness I managed to get close enough there. That could have gone poorly. So I need to sharpen. And I'm going for it. Ow. And there's a tail that's getting blasted. So the way this is probably going to go is we'll kill the Hellblade and then we'll fight the regular Glav, and Hellblade number 2 doesn't show up until both of these two are dead. Unless I'm wrong, in which case it would be better for us to swap our focus to the regular Glav, because we've already put work in on the Hellblade. So the Hellblade is probably closer to death. And again, Hellblades have more HP, so it's really a question of how well we've been doing against the Hellblade in that case. I am lucky I didn't take a hit there. Oh, hey, our dash juice ran out. That's not great. Yeah, you know what? Let's use this. I feel like I almost took a hit, and taking a hit would have nullified the effect of that Farcaster. That would have been bad. So the cats are both here. That's fine. So dash juice, yes. And let's go ahead and use our energy blade now. Just get ourselves that crit bonus in addition to completely filling our meter. Give ourselves just a little more pep. Oh, I also needed to use a cool drink. Ow. Okay, good. That is the Hellblade. Kind of hard to tell when both of their tails are hot. And they're both distant. Oh, I forgot to grab the extra first aid meds. Oh well. Is there a sub? Of course not. Oh, another thing that differentiates Hellblade, the glowing red eyes. Thank goodness I enraged him out of that tailspin, otherwise I would have taken it right in the face. Which is exactly the place I don't want to take it. And looks like we have de-blasted his tail. Unfortunately, that roar kept us from going over there and getting some hits. I usually like trying to jump on the tail during that animation, because if you time it right, you don't take any hits, and you get to do some tail hits, and if you're lucky, you manage to flinch him out of it completely. Okay, I don't understand how the wind effect knocked me towards the tail, but I guess that was a vacuum effect. And there's death. I hadn't meant to use a Superman dive there. If I hadn't done it, maybe we would have still been able to get away, but who can say? Well, now we can grab those extra first aid meds. And let's go ahead and use a cool drink right now. And a max potion. We'll get these at the ready. And now for the dash juice. And hopefully we can get rid of the Hellblade before we run out of this dash juice. And before we die again. Those are both things that I would appreciate. See, now that his tail's regular, it's easy to tell the two apart no matter the distance. As long as you know what color blue is, you can tell them apart. Okay. Oh no, we don't have any dung. Well then, might as well have just not thrown the Hellblade off. That was a straight up execution. Hellblade held me down while the regular Glavenus got its freaking executioner's chop going. Cut my head straight off, basically. Though that's clearly not what happened, because I'm still in the quest and not dead forever. But still, it's what it felt like. Okay, regular Glav, Hellblade Glav. Have some of this, buddy. Dude, you are accurate with that. Like, sure, I wasn't running perfectly perpendicular to you, but perpendicular to you. Okay, it seems it's also got a relatively large hitbox, and that's part of why I've been taking those hits. But it looks like he also leads his shots, which I do not appreciate. I would like to at least kill the one Hellblade. Ow. So these two being together is not making it easy. It's also kind of interesting how this Hellblade and regular Glavenus are pretty much the same size. Hellblades do run slightly bigger. Not that you would tell in this particular case. Ow. Ow. Oh, Hellblade's making a meal out of my cat. Ow. Ooh, I got lucky that I rolled through there. Though I need health badly. And I don't trust them to leave me alone long enough to get it. So we're back here again. Thanks for helping to top me off while we're up here, cat. Okay, they're both on that side. That's a little less than helpful. It looks like the Hellblade is a little bigger than the regular Glav. Hey, we got a flame orb. I've already got like 20,000 of those. It's really not what I wanted. Like, when I'm coming to fight Hellblade, flame orbs are not what I'm after. Sounds like we may have just broken the arms. Well, that tail is what I'm most interested in. After all, it's his tail. Well, so much for that Mega Potion. Okay, fellas, I get it. I get it, believe me. I understand. You are not fond of me right now. In fact, you've never been fond of me. How hilarious would it be if Glavenus's tail attacks were actually set to do cutting damage, and one Glavenus actually managed to sever the tail on the other? That would be fantastic. I would love that. But I don't believe that's a thing that can happen. Oh, we got so lucky there. Okay. There we go. We have health. Ooh. Hey, buddy, you want to stop playing around in the lava? You're not doing anyone... Oh. Wait, there's the Hellblade. Okay. Yeah, please stop playing in the lava, Mr. Hellblade. Okay, now he's at least back on land. Seriously, you just want to spit fireballs all day long? Is that what we're doing now? Sure, get your tail all blasty. Fun fact, Hellblade's tail does not care whether it is blasty or not. It can be severed either way. And that is not a wasted mount. Okay. I mean, it's wasted in that I'm not going to be going for the regular Glavenus when it's down. But we still get this brief time to be invulnerable, to do some damage to the regular Glavenus, and to incapacitate it for just a little while. Okay, yep, that's why we don't like the Blasty Tail. It explodes very, very wide. And we're not allowed to cart anymore. Hopefully we can get to the final Hellblade, just because. Though, I am really not liking my chances of actually succeeding on this quest right now. Thankfully, why am I even using a ration? Thankfully, success isn't the goal of this video series. It's just showing off the monsters, and I mean, hey, getting my ass kicked still accomplishes that. Alright, gotta use this because we're out of regular max potions. Okay, here we go. Hopefully I can at least get to carve this Hellblade. That would be nice. I need Hellblade parts. That's regular Glav. This is Hellblade. Just tall enough to hold his tail out of my reach. Didn't manage to actually get anyone with that flash. There you go, buddy. Just want to keep the two kind of separate. Oh. I guess we didn't get the tail. Oh well. I'm cool with that. And now we get to listen to good music. Or at least what I consider to be good music. You don't have to agree with me. But I certainly prefer this over the deviant theme. And we just got a heavenly scale, or what would be called a mantle from this Hellblade. But it's a Hellblade. I wanted Hellblade stuff. Hey, now we've just got a regular Glav between us and Hellblade number 2. Hellblade number 2, since we can focus on him alone, maybe we'll have some slight chance of getting his tail off. Ow. Pro tip. Try and stop burning before you drink your first aid meds. It's a little more efficient. Basically, don't do what I did. So, buddy, I'm gonna... Yeah, I need you to get in close so I can start jumping off you some more. Excellent. Missed with the big burst there, though. And now we need to sharpen. Good, he's going for the cat. Yeah, got one of these. Let's, yeah, not be in for that. Looks like the tail has stopped being hot. Ow. Thank you, cat. As much as I'd love to rely on this heal over time exclusively, we are going to need a little bit more health more quickly than that if we want to be sure that we can stay safe. And at this point we can be reasonably certain that the second Hellblade will indeed wait until this Glavenus is dead before it spawns. Alright, let's go for that tail. And we got it. Much easier to get a regular Glavenus' tail than a Hellblade's. And he's poisoned. Always nice when my cats get poisons, because it's free damage. Even when the cats aren't around, the poison still stays until it runs its course. Yeah, you get that throat all charged up. Just gives me more chances to knock you down. Well, admittedly, it does give you more ability to do mean things to me from a distance. And it gives you more ability to inflict Fire Blight, which, as I've stated before during this very quest, I'm not a fan of. Especially when the Glavenus decides to get really bitey, then Fire Blight becomes downright annoying. Let's reload some energy here. That was not worth it. Thought I heard a noise from somewhere else, but guess not. Pretty much every time I hear something that comes from a direction I don't expect, I'm gonna have to look around for the Hellblade just sheer nerves. Just because of sheer nerves, rather. Can't go forgetting words. Oh, hey, look, he's tired. Way to just put your face right on top of me when you trip there, buddy. Shame his throat doesn't stay charged when he gets tired, because that would have been a beautiful knockout. Wow. I'm glad I cut that tail. I really shouldn't be doing jump attacks on him when he's in the lava. That's just asking to waste a mount. Get on out of the lava there, buddy. That's what I want to see. Thanks for holding him still there, Cat. Didn't realize he was so close to dying. So, if we can kill Hellblade number 2 without carting, that'd be great. Though we do need to do it without carting. And Hellblade number... Oh, hey, look, it's another mantle. Or pallium or whatever. No, that would definitely be a mantle, because that is the... It is the kanji for scale. And heavenly scales have become mantles, whereas heavenly shells have become palliums. But yeah, Hellblade number 2 has increased health and damage output relative to Hellblade number 1. So... it's not exactly going to be an easy fight. It will be an uphill struggle. It's just possible. Though unfortunately, we do not have dash juice for this Hellblade, which is going to make it a little tougher. Especially if I get inflicted with Fireblade. So, where are you at, buddy? There you are. Okay. Ooh, this is a big one, too. And unfortunately, there's no way for us to prevent him from being able to give us Fire Blight. So Fire Blight will be a constant thing we struggle with. Okay. It's kind of tough to notice when we're so close to the lava, but when his throat's all blasty, instead of being entirely red, it's just the lines between the scales that glow red mostly. So that's the big signifier there. Ow. And that was a case of just staying down. Gotta get off this hot ground, though. And we also gotta get out, because our cool drink wore off. I mean, thanks to our cat, we weren't in danger of dying from the hot floor or from the hot air alone, but the combination of the two certainly could have killed us. And let's go ahead and just use a life powder. Get our cats back completely, while also healing us to full. And let's use one of these. And we can't forget our cool drink. And now we're ready to get back in there. Should have grabbed another Farcaster. What was I thinking? At least we've still got the one that we brought. So it's not like we're completely hosed when it comes to Farcasting. Alright. And his tail's all blasty, which, if we're lucky, we can, like, have our last hit manage to explode it, and thus get a second knockdown. So that would be... it would require a lot of luck, and his tail isn't blasting anymore, so it requires more luck than is possible to have. And again, we failed to actually hit him with the explosion. It is tough on big Glavenuses, which this definitely is one of. Oh, thank goodness. Also, it always feels really cool when you manage to get the explosion while he's charging that up. And again, I missed with the actual burst. Probably shouldn't have gone all the way to it. Sometimes it just feels so good to mash that X button and you really hope. Ow. Couldn't quite get into the safe zone there. And thank goodness he missed. Because that would have for sure been death. Thank you, Cat. I do want that sparkly. But I also want to not get killed for it. Okay. Sparkly's ours. We got some powder. That is excellent. It's the best thing you can get from his powder. Or from his Sparklies, though that was a rare 6 powder. Ooh. We're close. Thanks for the vault, Cat. I wasn't really looking for it. And that was just a sidestep through the roar. It's easy to roll through a roar, but sidestepping through requires a bit more precise timing. This is going to hurt. Ow. Okay. We need him to go for a cat. Thank you. And then I dare say now is a good time to use this. And let's get some health. Should have used one of my fish there, because they would have gotten rid of all the red health. But I don't always think to use them, because I so rarely actually bring them. And now we've got that Farcaster, so we can come to base camp one more time ever. Hopefully we won't end up needing it. And hopefully we don't end up needing it not because we died, but rather just because we're doing so super well. Because those are the two reasons that we could end up not needing it. Either doing well or doing dead. And one of those is preferable over the other. I leave it as an exercise to the viewer to determine which of the two I would prefer. Barely managed to get out of there. Looks like we've gotten the tail break. That's good. Always nice to roll through attacks. Because that was 2 attacks in a row that I would have been hit by had I not timed my rolls properly. Well, I definitely need stamina. Having SP mode now will help us in that respect. Provided I can actually jump on the Glavenus. Recovering energy while airborne is nice. I do enjoy it. Or rather, recovering stamina. Those are 2 different concepts in this game. Alright. Both cats are quite dead. Well, we aren't. So we need Glavenus to want to stick near us rather than trying to keep us at bay here. Ow. Timed my roll wrong and didn't get to where I needed to be to have it not matter. Cats are both going to be back pretty soon. Don't need to use a life powder right now. Heal Cat is back now. Need Glavenus to go for Cat, or otherwise just give me an opening. Nice herb horn, Cat. That's better. And hey, SP mode. And there's a mount with a freshly blasted tail. I do like that concept. Hopefully we can manage to get all the hits we want on the tail and then explode it. Well, did an early burst there just to make sure that I could get it. No explosion yet, but that's not to say it can't happen. Ow. I feel like the hitbox for those tail slams starts a little bit too close to the body. Like where the tail doesn't actually connect with the ground. But then again, I can see why they do it. It's just another means of making sure that there are fewer safe spots. I didn't need that. Thankfully, it did not lead to my destruction. It was one of these that I needed. Hopefully I don't end up missing that single Mega Potion. Though I imagine I'll probably end up dead long before I could get rid of all my remaining Megas. Need to actually roll on the ground there. Get rid of that Fire Blight. And looks like the tail has de-blasted itself. And that was a well-timed roll, because we were very much inside that hitbox. Ow. Okay, we got no cats. Got an angry Glav. And I think now is a decent enough time for us to use this. And let's go ahead and use this, get our cats back a little faster. And some of this action. And here we go. Can't go to the base camp anymore, so if we get into trouble, we need to get out of it ourselves. And he's got Blasty Tail and Blasty Face. Not a good combo for me. So if I could actually get a jump on him, then we might be able to at least make use of him having blasty parts. That tail, I'm pretty sure, went over my head. You want to maybe get out of the lava? Thanks. Almost seemed as though he bit my cool drink effect off of me. Ooh, I'm glad that wasn't aimed for me, because if it was, we would have been exploded. Seriously though, buddy, get out of the lava and stay out of the lava. Broke his arms, got the first face break. He's just blasted his face on up. And there's the tail blasting. We need to let our stamina recover. Ow. That's not good. Worries me a little when he does tail slam attacks when I'm low on health and stamina, because they've got reach, especially with the explosions. And I'm pretty sure if I took one right now, it would be lethal. So I'm going to create some distance here. And now let's heal. Because after the second slam, we do get a little while. And our healer cat is nearly back. I need to sharpen. But I also need to not take hits. And as goals, those two can sometimes be at odds. But it looks like right here they weren't. Yeah, I need to not always run in the same direction when he's doing his triple spits. Because sometimes you'll end up running in exactly the direction that he's altering his aim. And that is bad for business. And bad for life, and just generally bad. I feel like I should have gotten a vault off his face there, but I guess it was just barely not where I needed it to be during the frames I needed it to be there. Okay, you can go ahead and blast your tail up right now. Gave me a chance to roll off my fireblade. Oh, my stamina. I need more stamina. I need lots more. I also need Glavenus to not murder me. I need a lot of things right now. The game's not giving them to me. Wish I had my cats. Well, at least his mouth isn't blasty right now. That is at least something. Now it's blasty, but him getting it blasty gave us, ow, a chance to heal and then immediately lose all of the healing we just did and then some. Okay. Cats will be back soon. Once they are, I can hopefully become safe. 5 minutes to go. There are questions about whether or not we'll be able to do this in time. But we're alive. It looks like I may have time to regret that single mega potion after all. Ow. I wish both of my cats had the ability to be immune to Blast Blight. As it is, only the heal cat is able to be immune to it, but honestly, for the most part, that's enough. But yeah, now we need to go aggressive, because time is our enemy. And unfortunately, staying alive takes time. Oh, thank goodness. I mean, we've probably got him close-ish to dying. It's just a matter of finishing him. Ow. Uh-oh. Oh, thank goodness. Yeah, I think I might just need to not heal myself. Because we don't have time for it, and if I do it with improper timing, we're gonna die anyway. And there's the death. That was just dodging in the wrong direction. Oh well. We did decently. Like, I know there's people who can probably clear this quest solo in like 15 minutes flat. I'm not one of them. But I feel like we did pretty okay. We did acceptably. I've definitely performed worse on quests. And we did get to see one Hellblade corpse. So yeah, that's it for this episode. Join us next time when we take on Nargacuga. See you then, friends.